So the explanations, though, are kind of the things that I want to talk a little bit about today. What I believe theoretically are some of the reasons for why equal shared parenting is in the best interest of children. Number one, creates a sense of fairness and balance. Not only on the part of the parent, but also on the part of the child. It feels fair to have both parents, right? It feels, from the vantage point of the parent, fair to have equal involvement with your children. I mean, it kind of makes sense. LaShawn Ford, who is the rep that is in our state, emphasizes, the equality issue, the fairness issue, okay? Fairness seems fundamental to all of us. We want fairness, we want equality. We want to have a good reason if we don't have equality, right? There should be a good reason. In this area, we could say a good reason might be if there was a physically abusive, drug-addicted parent. That may be a good reason to restrict equality, right? But the great majority of parents are fit parents who have psychologically healthy approaches to life and are capable of, and really are due the ability to experience equality and shared parenting. There is no fundamental reason. That's why we always say it's when we presume that there's a fitness standard, and where two parents are fit, they have a right to equal parenting. So what has happened in the imbalance is most state legislations and statutes are based on outmoded beliefs, okay? And a lot of this came out of the Industrial Revolution, but what happens is women traditionally, 50, 60 years ago, stayed home and fathers went to work, right? And so when divorce came around, the assumption was the mother is the more competent parent, the one that's staying home anyway, so the father should pay to allow the mother to stay home. We don't live in that age anymore. We have a two-parent, usually work situation. And therefore, the assumptions that the statutes that we're operating on now are simply out of date. They simply do not. And another assumption was what was called the tender years doctrine. And that meant when children were very young, the assumption was that it was far more vital that they had involvement with their mothers than they did their fathers. There's been a lot of research done. Warshak particularly has done research on this tender years document, and he finds that children, in fact, are not damaged in any way. In fact, they're benefited from overnight stays with the father, even when the child is an infant. That was an assumption that carried a lot of weight and carried a lot of, put a lot of pressure on creating statutes that have the mother have primary parenting. That no longer really fits in a modern understanding, particularly what we call attachment theory. The next slide continues that. It creates a sense of fairness.